Hello, Internet. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. This is the DNA Whiskey Review. What are we sampling today?
Today we are sampling Angel's Envy. Angel's Envy is made by the Louisville Distilling Company, which is a subsidiary of Bacardi Limited at Angel's Envy Distillery in Louisville, Kentucky. The brand was founded in 2006 by Lincoln Henderson. He is a Bourbon Hall of Fame member and master distiller, and that was founded along with his son Wes. The name Angel's Envy comes from Angel's Share, which is the 5% of whiskey lost to evaporation each year during the barrel aging. After tasting the finished whiskey, Lincoln joked they had struck better deals than the Angels. The brand's first whiskey was supposed to be released October of 2010. They did delay the launch 6 months until he deemed the final product perfect. And his note on that was, when it comes to whiskey, perfection is worth waiting for. In 2016, Angel's Envy opened its first full production whiskey distillery along Whiskey Row in the heart of downtown Louisville since Prohibition. On the first day this distillery was open, production needed to mill malted barley, which was used in the mash, into the cooker. But instead of the barley going into the tanks, it was blown all over the actual mill floor, which left 1.5 feet of malted barley covering the floor. 6 hours, many employees later, they got it all cleaned up and they were moved on over to production. Since opening production, facilities from both established and new brands such as Old Forester, Michter's, and Rabbit Hole opened up shop along or adjacent to Whiskey Row over the past 8 years. The facility offers a bottle your own single barrel experience where you as a guest get to fill, cork, and label your own bottle in a single barrel bourbon. This, along with the other guest experiences, have proven to be so popular, the brand completed a 13,000 square foot expansion to the distillery to help accommodate an additional 64,000 visitors each year. In less than 10 years from its 2011 launch, Angel's Envy has expanded distribution to all 50 U.S. states, and in February of 2020, they began international distribution into the UK, Australia, Canada, and Singapore.
Nice. You ever been to Whiskey Row?
I have not.
Oh man, I go down there every March.
Yeah,
every March for a work thing, and I have always wanted to tour the distillery down there for Angel's Envy. It's my favorite bourbon, so never get a chance to. I'm always too busy. So Angel's Envy is an 86 proof whiskey. It's aged 6 years in charred white oak barrels. As you know, one of the qualifiers for any bourbon is that it has to be aged at least a minimum of 4 years in virgin white oak barrels. This one is aged 6 years, is then finished in a port wine cask after that, which some would say would make it no longer a bourbon. Technicality, guess they're technically right on that one, but you know, I'm not really one for technicalities or
don't be
tradition.
a snob.
Exactly. All right, so again, Angel's Envy bourbon is made in Louisville, Kentucky, right? The mash bill is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. So you told the story about the Angel's Share, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's really awesome. That whole story is really cool. Have you heard of Devil's Cut? Jim Beam actually has a bourbon called Devil's Cut.
Right, I've heard of it.
But the term Devil's Cut is basically the amount of whiskey that is absorbed into the barrel.
Oh, really?
So you got the Angel's Share, and then you've got the Devil's Cut. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely love it. Your breakdown of the distillery is perfect. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we could expect on the nose for this one here. So let's go ahead and give it a look-see here. Now, looking at it, I like the color. It's got that amber look to it. The legs are not like insane, so it's not going to be too heavy, not too molassesy.
Yeah.
But on the nose, we should see subtle hints of vanilla, raisin, maple syrup, and toasted nuts. I'm definitely getting the raisin.
I was going to say the same thing. Absolutely on the raisin. I do get a little bit of the maple syrup because it has like that sweet after.
I think that raisin's definitely going to be coming from that port cask.
Absolutely.
That finished in the port cask there. Yeah, finished in port wine barrels. Yeah, so yeah, that's definitely where that raisin's coming from. Maple syrup, toasted nuts, almost like an oat. Not necessarily a toasted nut, more of like an oat smell. Does it say
molasses? Is that one of the?
It says maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Okay.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot of really sweet in the beginning.
Oh, before we taste it here, let's talk about the palate. It says it's going to be vanilla, ripe fruit, maple syrup, toast, and bitter chocolate. So
bitter chocolate sounds horrible.
To see. Anyway, so we'll definitely go ahead and let's go ahead and give it a taste here. Cheers to you.
Yep. Cheers to you, my friends.
Okay, so on the palate, I'm not tasting that vanilla, not right off the bat. I am feeling that ripe fruit though.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. The ripe fruit right out of the gate.
Yeah, definitely right out of the gate.
Yeah.
The finish should be clean, lingering sweetness with a hint of Miranda. I haven't quite gotten to the finish yet, but on the palate there, I'm definitely tasting those ripe fruits. You definitely have that that sweetness of all bourbon, right there at the front.
Oh yeah.
Bitter chocolate, man. I'm not
zero bitter chocolate in there.
I did not pick that up at all. Definitely the ripe fruit. I can understand a little bit of hint on the vanilla, but that's more towards the finish than I would say towards the actual.
Yeah, now I'm getting more vanilla now than I was in the beginning.
Right, which should be coming on the finish, right? Not lingering sweetness. Okay, so lingering sweetness might be the vanilla.
Yeah.
So that might be what it is.
Absolutely.
Generally speaking, most of this stuff is just the marketing department throwing stuff on there to basically see what happens.
They like just chug a bottle and they're just like, yeah,
this is what we're tasting. This is what we're sensing here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so okay, let's go in for the second round here. See what we got. I am definitely noticing that vanilla. What do you think?
Yeah, the vanilla was a lot stronger that second one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the exhale out my nose was all vanilla.
Yeah.
So still with the fruit though.
Mm-hmm.
No bitter chocolate.
No, I am sensing that toast though. That it's kind of got that whatever that.
Can I just say this Angel's Envy is absolutely delicious though.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, this is a really, really great drink.
Yeah. I don't know, man. What's your final takeaways on all this? What do you think about the whiskey itself as far as the flavor notes? Anything else you want to add to that?
I mean, the whiskey is absolutely great. It is very nice on the nose. And that first taste that description is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the flavors that you're getting. The finish on this drink is just excellent. That vanilla finishing is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to drink all of that and then some of that one over there too. So.
Yeah. So I'm gonna follow up with that on that. I think this is probably the first one that I've reviewed that I've really liked the idea where the on the nose and palate blend like almost perfectly.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to the raisins and then the ripe fruit, that kind of just has a nice transition.
That's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. It is very similar on the nose as it is on the palate. All
right, so let's go ahead and pivot on over. We also, again, if you're new to the show, welcome, appreciate it. Please feel free to let us know your thoughts in the comments down below if you had a chance to sample this one.
Yeah.
But before we move on from that, we always like to also kind of sample what it would be like if we put it on ice. So let's go ahead and grab our pour here that is on ice and see what we lose and see what we gain on this one. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you guys.
So you do lose quite a bit when that one's on ice.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it does. I actually am getting a little of that bitter chocolate.
Oh, yeah?
That's kind of funny. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting a little of the bitter chocolate in that.
Yeah. So it's there. Funny how we
So the bitter chocolate is only effective when you have ice in it.
Yeah, when you water it down a little bit and put it on ice. See, the problem is when you drink something neat, you get the full flavor profile.
Right.
When you put it on ice, that cools it so your tongue doesn't pick up all the flavor notes. It's nice that we're able to identify that bitter chocolate on the palate there. But yeah, you're right. It is there for sure.
Yeah.
You do lose a lot of the flavor profile, but honestly, it's not something that I feel like I'm too upset by.
On ice all the time for me. Well, I like the crispness of the cool though.
All right. Any final thoughts on this whiskey?
I just want to tell anybody that hasn't tried this, go get you a bottle. You're going to love it.
Yeah, on average, what this on the liquor store,
46,
give or take. You always find them cheaper than I do.
I do.
So I don't know,
especially when I'm in Wyoming.
Oh yeah, that definitely helps. Helps. Your boys are in Utah, by the way, in case you're wondering. But yeah, so we'd love to hear from you folks. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. If you had a chance to try Angel's Envy, is there something else from this distillery that we need to try? We'd love to hear from you on that. And let us know what your experiences are in the comments down below.
Absolutely, we appreciate you guys tuning in.
Once again, folks, this has been an episode of the DNA Whiskey Review. My name is Darren, and that has been AJ. Until next time.